Hello, everyone. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Bradford Becker. Tonight, we are in our 21st season of Red Barn Radio, and we welcome you to show number 806. Yeah. I almost said 608, but that was 200 times ago. Brennan Edwards is a singer-songwriter based in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, by the way, who's been making a name for himself locally in his hometown of Winchester. Encouraged by his father, Brennan began his musical career and drum journey at the age of 5 and thrashed away in the basement to his dad's favorites, Pantera, Megadeth, Led Zeppelin. You're probably not going to hear elements of that in his repertoire tonight, but you'll learn lots about how this artist evolved into the accomplished singer and songwriter he's become in a relatively short amount of time. Welcome, folks, Brennan Edwards to Red Barn Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here, buddy.
This one's called Fair Hope. Oceans roar, seafoam breeze, 600 feet above sea level, staring at my knees. Adolescence and a man caught somewhere between. Push and shove, spread my love above all of the screens. And to waste away my day doesn't make no sense to me. Lately the moon's become my only friend, it seems to be. 'Cause I stay up late at night and spend my days living a dream. Arrogant, full of myself, ain't got no self-esteem. Candles flame inside of me, burning like a rocket ship floating on a breeze. Crash and burn, escape, unsure of who I'm supposed to be. But it take a fleet of lumberjacks just to cut down this here tree. And to waste away my day, it doesn't make no sense to me. Lately the moon's become my only friend, it seems to be. 'Cause I stay up late at night to spend my days living a dream. Arrogant, full of myself, ain't got no self-esteem.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio.
Thank you.
Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Brennan Edwards from Winchester, Virginia, is our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio. Brennan's interest in country music began with artists such as David Allan Coe and Conway Twitty, but ultimately Hank Williams played the biggest part in the music he plays today, and I know we're going to talk about that. Brennan is also greatly influenced by bluegrass. He spent much of his childhood going to bluegrass festivals with his grandmother and his mother's 5 siblings, who are locally and nationally renowned bluegrass musicians and all currently recording and performing in their own bands. Brennan is joined tonight by Ben Hirsch, also a talented singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist from Virginia himself. Welcome Brennan Edwards and Ben Hirsch.
Thank you. Ben. Thank you. All right, this next song is called A Land Between Two Mountains. This is an ode to Gore, Virginia. Sawing logs out Back Creek Way, had a good rest in 7 days, and late nights and long days just run together. And cold and wet is all we get, a muddy, rainy, sloppy mess. It seems like it might stay this way forever. Spent this winter in a run-down shack, but it ain't mine and it ain't Pat's. It just stays in and it makes his living turn her inches down the road. And owners stay not far away in a family cemetery grave, and what we'd give to learn that, but they know. And sharp left turn off 50 West, it's the old home place where good folks rest after a long day of hauling freight. And I always wanted my own home there with 2 bedrooms and spiral stairs, but I lived there in a tent 'cause I couldn't wait. Daniel's got one on the way with a girl he met just the other day, 4 or 5 or 6 long years ago. And time's flown by since he brought her there, and rocky times have had their share, but she's far from the girl I met when I was 15 years old. Joe's moved across the mountain, he ain't slowed down on all his pouting about the things that he don't understand. And he still says he don't want no children, but the band is ready and she's willing. We all wonder how much she can stand. Sunk his daily driver, and Uncle Johnny's fresh retired, like he claimed he would for 7 years. And he lets me sleep on his back lawn. He gets drunk and carries on, and I play tricks to get my kicks, putting water in his beer. Jeremy lives right across the road. He ain't kin, but damn sure close enough to get a mention in this song. And he spends his weekends out of state in the shock sawmill up in PA, and burns away his troubles in a bone. Donald and Aunt Joan are the heartbeat and the cornerstone of everything that I have come to know. And all my days out in Gore Town, spending weekends throwing down, me, my cousins, and all of my kinfolk. And sharp left turn off 50 West, it's the old home place where good folks rest after a long day of hauling freight. And I always wanted my own home there with 2 bedrooms and spiral stairs, but I lived there in a tent 'cause I couldn't wait. And I sit here in contentment with my fate. Thank you all.
Well, I've been playing with Ben here on my right for, 6 months now?
Yeah, just about 6 months.
We go to
Last
a
summer.
open mic every Monday that my other guitar player hosts in Winchester. And that's where my whole band came from. From coming out there, we all formulated that open mic, so
It's awesome.
I figured I'd introduce him for you. This one is called Perfect Storm, for lack of a better name. I hate that name personally. I think it's corny, but it was a temporary name, and then I was asking people to give me suggestions for one, and it's what they all said. So sparkled like a diamond, embedded in the dark and grim abyss. Reflecting on my purest thoughts, targeting a mark I couldn't miss. How through all the gloomy weather God created such a perfect storm. Flowing rays of sunshine cast down upon a heart so pure. Sparked my hazy interest through the fog that I'd been living in. Little did I know just how quickly you would give my head a spin. Hoping I at least would have some company to hold me for a while. Until I felt the presence of the warmness in your eyes and in your smile. A chance at nothing when I asked for you to spend a little time. In those living waters by which I'd spent a great deal of my life. Patiently we waited as we talked of life and love of God above. I reached across and kissed the one I thought would be the girl I'd always loved. But it wasn't my intention to slip and fall for you like heavy rain. Find myself in such a mess that I can't even find the words to say. And I know that you're not ready for love strong as I can give to you. I just want you to know Thank y'all. That one was for Chris. He loves that song, and he calls it Teardrops Fall for You Like Heavy Rain, because he loves to call things by their incorrect names and sing songs with the wrong words, even when he knows the real words. So there you go, Chris. You've been on Red Barn Radio now. This is a song I wrote during a long car ride, at least most of it, on the way to Atlanta last April. I had an experience in the hotel room and finished the song when I got home. This one's called Up in Smoke.
Trying hard to find new love didn't land me anywhere except hurting for your touch, lonesome drowning in despair. And at just about the time I gave up on hope with you, a bright light lay over me, and your voice came shining through. And I'll be coming home today. I just called to tell you so. There's only so much I can take, and our love went up in smoke. How I miss this place that I left behind so long ago, and how it lingered in my mind. Why did I leave? I just don't know. Well, I could talk with you all day, hold you close all through the night, and give you anything you want, take you anywhere you'd like. Let life throw anything our way, still be right there by your side. I love you with all that I am, all my heart, soul, and my mind. Please forgive me for hiding, no. I bet your love may turn to hate for the thing I'm about to do. I know your heart will surely break, letting you down gently. Tried my best to find a way. Sorry, but I've got to go. My flight leaves on the 28th, but you can't come to me no more. Yeah, I just called to tell you so. There's only so much I can take. Each time your love goes up in smoke, I won't be there to break your fall. If you tumble to the ground, play with fire and you'll get burned. I won't be there to put it out. When you've got no place to go, search for refuge in my arms. And I'll tell you to hit the road. You ain't doing me no harm, 'cause I've got better things to do. You ain't standing in my way. Oh, this time I'm leaving you. My flight is on the 28th.
Thank you all. In terms of sequences, that kind of comes after the last song. This one's called Homesick. This song is a lot of songs that I write are about different parts of my life, different time periods, not current events usually. And this one is about having good parents and stuff like that, and still being a drunk loser. No longer, though.
Could have been a junkie and a drunkard and a whore, laid to waste on a hardwood floor, with only the taste of bitter hate to call my friend. And friends only, strangers familiar, family estranged or deceased. My only hope, a quick and painless end. I've been in fortune's favor, product of endless labor, by adults who slaved for paper and grew up quick. And plans from my creator to create something greater, but it's only in my nature to come homesick, and I'm homesick again. And I've stayed awake days at a time, many times made waste all of mine, and prayed God's grace would save me once again. Procrastinate all that you like, feel good for the moment, hate your life. At the end of the day, all that you'll find is time wears thin. Losing will soon dig a crater. Nice to know it, see you later. Loudmouth instigator, you'll get bit. But I'll pipe down, lay down till I'm able to rise once more from the cradle. But it's only in my nature to come homesick, homesick again.
Thank you all.
Oh, All right. Wow, nice songs.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Here, our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio is Brennan Edwards. He's from Winchester, Virginia, and he's here with his friend Ben Hirsch, who's playing the fiddle. And Ben tells me he's not from Winchester. He's familiar with Winchester, but he lives up in northern Virginia, up in Fairfax County.
That's correct.
Yeah. Great to meet you guys.
Oh, not anymore.
What?
Oh, he lives in Winchester now.
I
He's
do
just
live
from-
in Winchester.
Oh, you
yeah.
do?
Oh, yeah. As of 3 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you actually made
Yeah.
the move.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, up in the mountains. Yeah.
Wise
Over the
decision.
mountain.
Yeah, that is a good
Absolutely,
decision.
yeah.
I think talking to you, I was under the impression you were still stuck up there in Northern Virginia.
Nah,
Whew.
found my way out.
Yeah, way to go. Well, that is a good move. There are a lot of beautiful things up in Northern Virginia, obviously, and a lot of things to see. 100 different intersections that all look exactly alike because they have a Walgreens here and a Rite Aid across the street. Anyway, good to have you.
Thank you.
Both here, and great to meet you finally. I feel like we've been sort of talking through your visiting on Red Barn, and
Yeah, it's
you're
great
here.
to be here.
Yeah, you're here. All right.
Very exciting.
Well, Brennan, you're a beautiful guitar player and a really powerful singer and a talented songwriter. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I mean, I hope you feel that way about yourself.
As far as being a beautiful guitar player, I'd call myself a practiced girlfriend of a guitar player.
Well, you just do a great job. I mean, your playing is really fluid, and you just remind us of the melodies. During your breaks, it's great. You bring us back to what the song is about without any words. It's sweet.
I'm kind of just a noodling addict.
Are ya?
Yeah, just kind of
Same
just do nothing, but I can't get away from the noodling throughout the song. I should be playing rhythm.
So, well, let's talk about how you got there. I mean, are you when you think about your playing, do you think back to the time when you were playing, thrashing away on the electric guitar? Did you learn skills on the electric guitar that were sort of transferable to the acoustic?
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that some.
I can show you right now.
Yeah, talk about it.
One of the first songs I can remember playing is Seek and Destroy by Metallica. And that's basically, the rhythm is a lot of just lead. Can't remember how to play it, but
Yeah.
it's all just walking around the fretboard. So it's what I grew up doing was a lot of that stuff, and didn't really learn how to just. I mean, there was some rhythm stuff there, but
Yeah.
and a lot of it was practicing just like riffs from songs and not full songs at that time. Just learning like the main parts of the song.
So I sort of see that as sort of the crawling of learning guitar, right? Is learning to play the riffs, and then the walking is playing through the whole song.
It should be the other way around,
Huh.
or more so the leads, the lead parts. But everyone wants to play lead first,
Yeah, I guess so.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Lead first before rhythm.
Really?
Yeah. As a guitar player and fiddle player, of course. Yeah.
Did you ever feel afraid, like when you were first playing out there and really moving around the fretboard and improvising? Did you ever feel afraid to make mistakes?
No, it was
Really?
in my bedroom,
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm not.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't take it out of my bedroom for a long time.
Like for how long? You mean from like
Like-
5 until?
Like 90% of the first 18 years of my life, other than if it was my buddy's bedroom, we were together playing together, stuff like that. But like, no, I've always been a closet musician
Huh.
for the most part.
And how did it happen that you finally said, you know what, I'm going to get out? Somebody tell you got to do this?
A lot of people, mainly like family members and people close to me, and then some other people, but I don't know. The final decision maker was a long story. That's all I'll say about that. and
Not a story you can tell?
no,
No?
not particularly,
Okay.
but it was very encouraging. That's all I can say about it.
Oh, okay.
And mainly getting out and playing in front of people was like in high school. I started to a little bit with like my friends when I was drunk and that sort of thing with like a small group of people. But as far as like playing on stage and stuff, I didn't think I'd ever be able to. Just not comfortable with it. But now I don't really have. I get a little nervous sometimes, but it's like a night and day difference.
Well, I was asking earlier. Were you ever afraid? And you said you spent 90% of your life up until now playing. Yeah, like you as
I
a
guess
closet musician.
So much of the time learning was, in private. So like when I was discovering new stuff, like going up and down the neck and stuff like that, and I was never scared to try anything because it was just me,
Yeah,
But
sure.
as far as on stage, I beat myself up for about 5 seconds when I make a mistake, which is like every 5 seconds. No, but pretty often, little mistakes, big mistakes, and I try not to avoid them because you don't find anything new by avoiding mistakes, I guess.
Yeah. Great words. True.
But I'm definitely trying not to make mistakes today, and I think I've made more mistakes by doing that.
Same here.
Which is kind of the logic.
We don't feel like they're mistakes that are audible to.
Oh no, they're
to
not that big of a
bunch
deal.
of
But
dopes like us in the room, right?
as far as, like I say, for about 5 seconds in my head while I'm up here, I'm like,
No, it feels to me like you're very much in the song and just given and fluid. It's just a great sound.
thank you.
Great sound, yeah. All right, so what role did the open mics play for you? Because it sounds like you guys you did a lot of that, and that was where you sort of cut your teeth.
It's huge.
Yeah.
A huge role because it was right after I did my first gig and I was looking for gigs and I was doing some side work for a guy up the road from the bar that they have it at. So I stopped in at like 3 o'clock when I was on my way home and they weren't open yet, but the owner was there and he was like, unless you can bartend or wait on tables, I'm dealing with a fire right now. I thought he was talking about a fire, but
Right. Like putting fires.
But I was like, can I get your card or something? I'm looking to book a gig here. And he was like, we have an open mic this Monday. Come out. If you're good, I'll hear about it. And so that's where I met the guy who runs it. His name's Mike, and he's my guitar player now. And so then from there, one person showed up. That was my bassist. It's like a lot of jam in there. They got a real nice stage, real nice equipment, so it's a good practice setting. Then he showed up.
Yep.
He's a great guitar player as well, and we found out
Back
he
in
could play
July.
fiddle after weeks.
Yeah.
He's like, I can mess around
like-
with it, but he's
I hadn't played much beforehand, but then when I heard Brennan's music, I decided to pick it up and relearn it after several years of having it put away in the closet.
You put it away because
I don't know. Yeah, I was just more of a guitar player, but then I have a love for this type of music, and I thought fiddle fits this music well, so that's why I decided to pick it up again.
Yeah.
Hearing this kind of music.
The guys who run this open mic, are they considerably older than you?
no. Mike's 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like 20s.
Okay, so
various
and you're in
ages.
your 20s too, right? You're
23.
okay, 23. Yeah.
And I'm old. Kind of.
Will's the oldest, isn't he?
Will's the oldest.
Bass
yeah,
player's the
Probably
oldest.
about 50, and I'm 40. So yeah, every decade.
Well, they always talk about this music, especially bluegrass. And I want to go back to your days of going to bluegrass festivals. They always talk about, the richness of that music because it's so intergenerational. Do you feel like have there been some folks much older than you who really encouraged you to take off with your traditional music interests?
Yeah. The first people I can remember that would consistently put that at me was a relative of mine. We would go up there for Thanksgiving and stuff. He would, every single time I'd see him, "You still picking that guitar? You still picking that guitar? Keep on picking that guitar." And then there's a guy or a couple guys, older dudes that remember me from being like, I don't know, 6 years old, seeing me play at this farm market, at this bluegrass jam or something like that. And he always apparently had an interest in wanting to see me do something with it.
Huh.
But now he comes to a lot of my shows, but I don't know. I can't really put a finger on who really pushed it at me the most.
Yeah, but the particular people aren't maybe as important as the fact that there were older people, elders, who were saying, "Come forward, young man. You're welcome into the fold." I love that. Talk about your family members and their bluegrass heritage. I want you to start with your grandma, because it seems like she plays large in your past, having brought you to those festivals and stuff.
Yeah, well, she was always lugging around my aunts and uncles to all those festivals and stuff, and they're not much older than me. My youngest aunt's only 9 months older than me, and then like a couple of years, and another couple of years, and another couple of years older.
Yeah.
And then the oldest one's like 5 years apart from, But so I started going with them when I was real little. I did not, as far as I can remember, I didn't care for bluegrass. And then when I was about eight or so, I started to get interested in it. I started learning the mandolin a little bit, and would go with them to Galax in Virginia and Cabin Fever. I think I went to Grays Mountain with them. I don't remember exactly. Watermelon Park, of course. It's right there by Winchester.
What's it called?
Watermelon Park.
I should maybe know what that is, but
It's it's supposedly the oldest bluegrass festival. It was the first bluegrass festival. Some people have told me. I haven't confirmed that for myself, but you guys can check into that.
I think of Galax as being like the super important historically.
Oh yeah, that one's. It's been a long time since I've been to any of them, but those were some great times had there.
I think of
for me as a
Galax
young
as
kid.
being more the home of the fiddle contest, and the guitar contest, and the place where Marco. I know there's great stories of Mark O'Connor going to Galax as a little pipsqueak and taking all the contests away from the superstars, the past superstars there. And you went to do you have recollections of going to Galax and seeing fiddle contests and things like that too?
Oh man, it's all a blur.
Yeah.
It was all happy, like everything was going on everywhere there, from what I remember. Like there was, like I was all over the place, as a little kid, and running
sure.
around with no shoes on. It was muddier than. It was crazy, like how muddy it was, and I was running around. All I remember is it squishing between my toes. Everywhere I went, looking back, it was just like a big party, and there was probably beer all over the place and stuff.
Probably.
So I don't know what I was doing running around barefoot there, but I just remember just being one place and then another and another.
Sounds like good fodder for a song at some point in time.
If I had a vivid memory of it. And this isn't because of drugs or anything like that at that age at all.
I should hope
but
not.
It sounds like it, but yeah, it seemed like there was so much going on all the time.
When you didn't like bluegrass, you said you don't remember, like as a little kid, really liking bluegrass music much. But at some point, did you feel like, I want to be part of this? And
the first stuff I really liked was Allison Krauss and Union Station, and like the Dan Tominski stuff, and the stuff that my family was doing, mainly.
What was your family doing?
Playing.
Yeah, like at these festivals?
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me about it. Like, what kind of stuff were they doing? Just traditional bluegrass, original material, or?
Both.
Ah,
My Uncle Buddy does more traditional bluegrass. And my two aunts, Mary and Elizabeth, have a band together, and they're more of like an old-time bluegrassy band. They're not as much traditional, but
old timey meaning like open back banjo,
Yeah.
fiddle, that kind of thing. Yeah.
and my Uncle Buddy was monthly. It's too busy now, and it all got kind of sidetracked within the last like 3 years with everything that went on. But he had a monthly bluegrass concert on his farm, and they still do it, every so often. So I went to a lot of those, of course, and that was watching them play there. Really made me want to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, you play good bluegrass guitar. I mean, you perform with your relatives?
Yeah, occasionally, more so like family jams on holidays and stuff. But every so often, get to play some gigs with them. Whether it's one of mine, I have my Uncle Buddy and his son come play with me, or I used to play drums. My Uncle Jack is a lot more experimental with his mandolin.
Uh-huh.
He's the most experimental of all of them. So he had drums and saxophone, mandolin,
All right.
electric bass, doing some funky stuff.
Heresy. Wow. Well, this is good. So we talked through some of your guitar stuff. So we'll come then to your voice and your writing, and then we'll talk some with Ben too. Let's get back to some music.
All right, sweet.
All right. Hey, welcome back, Brennan Edwards and Ben Hirsch on Red Barn Radio.
Thank you all. All right, here's a song I wrote a while ago. And there was a couple lines that I just thought just kind of bugged me. Like, that doesn't work. And then not long ago, we were at open mic, and I had just was like, I can't do nothing with this song, so I changed the lines and just made them more appealing to myself so I could start playing them. And I didn't know exactly what kind of chord progression I was going to throw it on, because I write a lot of songs, just lyrics first, and then try to figure out what music to put that over. But we worked this one up. It was halfway written at open mic.
Yeah, I love this song the first time I heard it.
This was called Golden, True, and Pure.
Months of days and hours I'd been stuck with a bad taste. And now it's 6 months later and I sit in the same place, stuck with a desire inside that I cannot tame. 'Cause there ain't no one in this world that could ever take your place. As much as I love you, as much as it hurts me to say, well, I don't understand this, I can't give you all the blame. The way that I feel for you, you feel for him all the same. The thoughts still burn within my mind of you holding my name. But I can relate, 'cause I've been there before. And I'd hate to make you feel sore about our fate. And I was almost sure that I'd give you everything and even more. A love that's endless, golden, true, and pure. I'm stuck here alone again and facing off the stage. Coming face to face with strangers and they all know my name, but they don't realize the anguish burning in my veins as I'm singing to you from so many miles away. But you wouldn't know, 'cause you won't even show your face. The gentleness of such could surely take my breath away. What would I have to do for you to make you wanna stay? Give me one more kiss and feel your tender warm embrace. And every day I wish you were at my door, coming to say that you were wrong to leave before. But I can't take another blow within my core, bruised and punctured by all of your thorns. A heart that's endlessly broken and sore. But I can relate, 'cause I've been there before. And I'd hate to make you feel sore about our fate. And I was almost sure that I'd give you everything and even more. A love that's endless, golden, true, and pure. Thank you. Something was out of tune there. I apologize for that.
Yeah, same here. My bad. Up a little step there.
Really?
Oh, I didn't harp relays.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like this song. Can rip.
I knew it was that one.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was
It's
going to
all
be that
good.
sharp, though.
My high F string was attitude. Jack's D string.
All right. This one's called Golden, True, and Pure. Months of days and hours I'd been stuck with a bad taste. Now it's 6 months later and I sit in the same place, stuck with a desire inside that I cannot tame. 'Cause there ain't no one in this world that could ever take your place. As much as I love you, as much as it hurts me to say, well, I don't understand this, I can't give you all the blame. The way that I feel for you, you feel for him all the same. The thoughts still burn within my mind of you holding my name. But I can relate, 'cause I've been there before. And I'd hate to make you feel sore about our fate. And I was almost sure that I'd give you everything and even more. A love that's endless, golden, true, and pure. I'm stuck here alone again, facing off the stage, coming face to face with strangers, and they all know my name, but they don't realize the anguish burning in my veins as I'm singing to you from so many miles away. but you wouldn't know, 'cause you won't even show your face. The gentleness of such could surely take my breath away. What would I have to do for you to make you wanna stay? Give me one more kiss and feel your tender warm embrace. And every day I wish you were at my door, coming to say that you were wrong to leave before. But I can't take another blow within my core, bruised and punctured by all of your thorns. A heart that's endlessly broken and sore. But I can relate, 'cause I've been there before. And I'd hate to make you feel sore about our fate. And I was almost sure that I'd give you everything and even more. A love that's endless, golden, true, and pure.
Thank y'all. This next one's called A Deed Undone. It's also kind of a sequel to that last song, which was probably a sequel of the song before that, if not the one before that. A lot of chronological order stuff going on here. All right.
A deed undone isn't what I'm wishing for, but I feel I set upon unsettled scores. But my heart still yearns for you, though I know it's seen the truth, that I'm not the one that you've been yearning for. So waste my time, take my heart and throw it down. Give me nothing in return, run my name into the ground, pull my body limb from limb, so no longer I can swim in the flood that is your love. Let me drown. Will the falsehoods and the lies that I'd seen with my own eyes were enough to make a better man break free? But your charm had left me blind to emotional crimes that you committed in the first degree. So waste my time, take my heart and throw it down. Give me nothing in return, run my name into the ground, pull my body limb from limb, so no longer I can swim in the flood that is your love. Let me drown. In a moment I was floating on your clouds so pure and white, At first glance knew I had fallen instantly, but a storm of pure frustration with a pound all through the night washed my chances with my one true every dream. So waste my time, take my heart and throw it down. Give me nothing in return, run my name into the ground, pull my body limb from limb, so no longer I can swim in the flood that is your love. Let me drown through the flood that is your love. Let me drown.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
All right, this next song is about my buddy Jason Sherman. Jason Sherman, you've also now been on Red Barn Radio. I wrote this song to make fun of him, just, lightheartedly. He told me it was 9:45 at night, a quarter till 9, that's right. And I was inviting him up to my show that was not far from his house, and he said he was about to go get a chicken coop from Lovettsville. I didn't know where Lovettsville was at, but I found out it was down near Leesburg, which is about an hour and a half away from Winchester, and or something like that. It's in the ballpark of that time. And I said, how are you going to go get a chicken coop at 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night in Lovettsville? So I thought that was pretty funny. I wanted to make fun of him, so I started writing this song. Me and my cousin Pat were talking about it. He was like, yeah, he's got 10 chickens in a dog crate. And he said that would be a good title for a song, so I tried to write it, and never planned on doing anything with it, but it's definitely the most requested song that I play.
That's right.
Despite my intentions with it. So this was called 10 Chickens in a Dog Crate. 1, 2, 3. 10 chickens in a dog crate, got food on my plate. $1 short and a day late. Another word for $1 saved. Ain't a place I'd rather be. 2 hands and a couple of feet. Hell, I'm living on easy street. If anybody asks me, and if you see me today, well, don't you know I'm doing alright? Still ain't got a coop for the roost or the hens, but it saved me a couple dimes. Headed down to Lovettsville when I got a little time to kill. There's an old timer there says he don't care. What I got is what he will. Well, it got me an old truck. Hell, it didn't pay too much, and it don't ever leave me stuck. From my older friend Doug, took it out of my paychecks, so I never miss payments, and it's cruising down easy street. If anybody asks me, and if you see me today, well, don't you know I'm doing alright? Still ain't got a coop for the roost or the hens, but it saved me a couple of dimes. Headed down to Lovettsville when I got a little time to kill. There's an old timer there says he don't care, but what I got is what he will. Go ahead, Ben. Well, it got me some good friends. I only see them on the weekends. But you know I'm quite content with the way my time is spent. If I ever need money lent, or got some of mine to lend, we're all living on easy street. If
if anybody asks me. And if you see me today, well, don't you know I'm still doing alright. Still ain't got a coop for the roost or the hens, but it saved me a couple of dimes. Headed down to Lovettsville when I got a little time to kill. There's an old timer there says he don't care, but what I got is what he will. 10 chickens in a dog crate, got food on my plate, $1 short and a day late. Another word for $1 saved. Ain't a place I'd rather be. 2 hands and a couple of feet. Hell, I'm living on Easy Street, if anybody asks me.
All right.
Thank y'all.
That's a good one.
One time for Ben Hirsch.
All right.
Thank you.
Nice job. Well, we've got lots more music and conversation with Brennan Edwards coming up ahead, but I'd like to take a minute to remind listeners that Red Barn live stream both this evening's and on any Wednesday remain available online for you to view at your convenience. Our live video stream is available on the weku.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of wgad.net in central New York. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and for goodness sakes, be sure to tell your friends what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. Will you please? Our guest on Red Barn Radio next week is heralded musician, singer, songwriter, visual artist, and podcaster Abe Partridge. Partridge writes and plays to make you sit up and think. His first album, Cotton Fields and Blood for Days, was released in 2018 to glowing reviews across the Americana board. Tony Paris of Bitter Southerner said Abe plays guitar the same way he writes the lyrics, bashing strings with abandon until they're just about to come loose, and then beautifully picking notes until every last word falls into place. Most recently, Partridge and co-producer Farrell Gibbs released the Alabama Astronaut podcast, where they explore songs previously undocumented at churches in Appalachia. This podcast finds Partridge chatting with holiness preachers and looking into the practice of snake handling. You're going to like this. It was in the top 10 documentary podcasts on Apple Podcasts within days of its release. But this only scratches the surface of this creative guy's work. When he's not writing or touring, Abe Partridge is creating his great folk art paintings, which now hang in art galleries around the Southeast and also are owned by folks who like to collect art. I know Tyler Childers has a few. I think Abe actually did cover art for Tyler's latest album, if I'm not mistaken. Abe's full-length studio album, Love in the Dark, on BCPR label, will be released on May 12, 2023. That's all next time on Red Barn Radio. Abe Partridge. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall in the grand city of Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back, Brennan Edwards and Ben Hirsch on Red Barn Radio.
Welcome back, Brad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I had to pull some strings, but I thought it was worth it.
Hey, man. Yeah, thanks.
Anybody in here play any instruments?
Fun of tuning.
How often do you find yourself thinking you're tuning one string, but you've got yourself on the wrong? Yeah.
Many times.
That's what I do all the time. This is a song called Round the Bend. see if I might forget some of the words here. That might happen. We'll start it over. Backsliding, I've been out riding the wrong direction. Each time I come to my senses, I swore I learned my lesson. And Lord knows I try to stay right, but I'm inconsistent. And fighting these demons seems I can't escape their presence. And I got comfortable in my mind, it became a prison. All at one time, and next thing I knew I was locked in. And all I could see were the walls as they closed from both ends. But it gave me chances to glance at my own intentions. And realize my pain was part of my own invention. Realized that I'd been just wasting my life away since as far back as I can remember in adolescence. A child full of anger, confusion, and contentiousness. Well, I got to vacate from this place. I can't live in this sin. How can I hold hands with the devil yet still have a friend? Jesus our Lord up above, all around and within. He carried me out of the deepest and dirtiest trench. Won't you leave me alone? Can't you see I could use a good friend? And I know better than trusting that shit-eating grin. Smile on the surface can't hide the things I see within. Backbiting ways never change, so I'm leaving again. The sands keep on falling, I feel myself falling with them. And I got my whole life, but it feels like my time's wearing thin. And I give it my all anymore, I feel like giving in. I know there's a better life waiting on me around the bend. But I know there's a better life waiting on me around the bend. Told you I'd forget the words at least once. That's all right. All right, this is a fun one. The way we're going to play it today doesn't do it justice to the way that our drummer has. By the way, I'd ever shout out Sam Bradshaw, our drummer. He was the last one to put the pieces together for formulating the band. We call ourselves, well, I call them Monday Blues. Blue is in the name of the bar that they had the open mic at every Monday, so you know. This one's called The Way It Goes. And I always pictured it being a, double time feel.
Yeah.
And we tried it out the first time, and Sam was building it up, and all of a sudden he starts playing halftime. You'll just have to wait to hear it another time. But this one's called The Way It Goes. And that's the way it goes for me. I ain't got no company. Ain't nobody count on me. In this life I find not a shred of sympathy. And Lord, I can't be set free with these chains around my feet and a tired and troubled mind. And life keeps on passing me every day a little faster speed. But that's the way it has to be. That's the way it's always gone. Keep up with that increase. I can't seem to move my feet and can't keep up with that old beat. So I play my own drum, and that's the way it goes for me. I ain't got no company. Ain't nobody count on me. In this life I find not a shred of sympathy from the folks who don't know me. They could give a damn if I live or breathe, or if I'm sound of mind. Stay up late 'cause I can't sleep. I'm dreaming up my masterpiece, but it's thoughtful heart does master me. So I'm bound to toss and turn. I got no sense of direction, but a damn good recollection. Genuine intentions in my chest, they burn. I got a heart with stinging pain. Yeah, all the things I want but can't acquire. Yeah, they set on fire my soul full of self-doubt. And I got a lot I'd like to say, and a six string I can play. What the hell am I gonna sing if I won't open my mouth? Yeah, sometimes I can't keep it shut. I'm great at digging an awful rut, and I thank the Lord that I got no interest in a slut with open legs, 'cause that ought to be my advice. But ain't a woman that'll treat me nice, so drink my whiskey with a little bit of water on a bed of ice instead. And that's the way it goes for me. I ain't got no company. Ain't nobody count on me. In this life I find not a shred of sympathy from the folks who don't know me. They could give a damn if I live or breathe, or if I'm sound of mind. And not a shred of sympathy. And Lord, I can be set free with these chains around my feet and a tired and troubled mind. Thank you. Let's see here. This is a song about this is a song I wrote a couple lines, and I was like, I can't go anywhere with this. I have no idea how to continue this one. This is a song about sobriety. And my background is Irish and some Irish and some Native. Not good drinking genes, so I very much enjoy the drink. But I haven't drank in 10 months now because I've got a pretty good gig going here. Don't wanna be hungover till noon and miss a morning gig or something like that, you know. Or better yet, catch a DUI, things like that. This one's called Me and the Devil. Yeah.
We seem to have lost guitar and fiddle. It's off, right?
Yeah, it's off.
Oh,
Should be getting a signal.
I had mine turned down because I was tuning.
And I couldn't hear
I'm
much
great,
guitar
aren't I?
beforehand.
Did we miss something?
Probably that whole last song. Well,
That's why I
you've
was
got
playing
the
so quiet.
should have the mic. I did have my DI was turned off. I didn't even think about that.
I was gonna say something, but we're in the middle of it. It's all right.
Went all right.
Yeah. You don't have to.
This one's called Me and the Devil. Actually, this one is in, it's going to be in C.
See? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Must be a magician, 'cause I blinked my eyes and ended up at home. How I don't know, but my prediction is that someone somewhere's looking out for me. Can't be seen. And when I woke up, felt like I'd been beaten to a pulp, and I can feel my pulse in my eyeballs, and I can hardly see or stand, so I'll just stay down and have a warm round. But I guess that ain't too much for a lady's choosing. It's hard to win your heart when I'm born losing. And the Lord is not the author of confusion. I guess me and the devil are the only ones to blame. I guess me and the devil are the only ones to blame. What am I doing? Jumped out of bed and headed for the door. Began to pour. I dumped it all out. Every drop of poison I'd been holding on to, and it's been long due. And all that money, and it disgusts me seeing what I'd been ingesting, all for nothing but a new dawn. And brought along another new beginning, and for that I'm grinning. And it's high time that I extinguish that fire. Stop trying to drive on 4 flat tires. And a man with self-control's one I admire. And I'll lose it all if I can't show restraint. I guess me and the devil are the only ones to blame. I guess me and the devil are the only ones to blame.
All right.
Thank y'all.
All right. So while you're there, just having sung that song and talked about sobriety, talk about what have you learned about yourself? Over the course of the last 9 or 10 months. I mean, you started your career. You're pretty new in your career, relatively speaking, and you kind of kicked it off with the sort of the calm and the lubrication of alcohol when you played and performed out. And what have you learned since you decided to kick it for a little while, or permanently?
That it sucks.
Yeah, no, tell me.
That's pretty much that it sucks.
Yeah.
At least if you're somebody that overindulges.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get that way with everything. I actually just had to quit drinking coffee because I'll just drink coffee cup after cup until I'm like,
So you got
can't even function. I went to a show after I'd chugged down like 2 big mugs of coffee and then went and did a show, and I felt like I was having a panic attack that never actually came. It was just like the build up to it, the whole show, and I felt like I couldn't hit notes. I was so nervous. I was like, all this from caffeine. So, and so yeah, anything like that, I gotta watch out for.
But I mean, yeah, well, that's good. But now you say it sucks. But there was
Oh
obviously.
no, sobriety doesn't suck. Drinking all the time.
No, I know, I
sucks.
get it. But you
Yeah.
say, but there's also for people who like to drink and perform, it's like it doesn't suck until it does, right? It's because on the way up, sometimes it's sort of like is kind of working, and then all of a sudden.
That's really what made me decide to quit drinking, because I'm in a position where I'm in bars all the time,
Yeah.
Playing, and you're playing, and you start out, you buy a drink. Next thing you know, someone likes what you do, they buy you a drink, and then someone else buys you a drink, and you've only asked for one. But if you're someone like me, you're not going to say no. You know what I mean? So I wasn't saying no because I was actively drinking. And next thing you know, you're too drunk to remember the words, or you literally cannot sing. Like, your motor skills are so gone, which is the weirdest feeling.
Yeah.
And then there's the part where you got to drive yourself home from that gig. And then you got to call somebody to pick you up because you didn't just have one drink and, play for 3 hours. 5 people brought you drinks all night. You're enjoying the show, and
Well, I think I was wondering more, though, Brennan, about so you're talking about sort of like you're talking more about sort of drunkenness and the actual time that you're drinking, but people who find sobriety learn about the ways that habit impacted their lives even when they weren't necessarily drinking. And have you discovered some of that too?
I mean, it definitely makes you a more stressed out person. Like, you can measure that. Like, if you drink, even if you're someone who drinks one beer a week, the days that you're not drinking, you're gonna be more stressed out and like high strung.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I just seen something about that. But I don't know. For me, it messed up my regular life before I was playing music with like showing up late because I'm hungover to work, and I lost so many good opportunities. I'm not going to lose this opportunity. So that's all I think about it.
Yeah. Well, it's great.
Because I remember, showing up to a gig with like 30 minutes to set up and play and literally feeling like death and not wanting to see anybody, and happening, multiple times. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. Well, way to go.
But as far as that goes, that's all
Yeah.
I got to say about that, Forrest.
Well, that's plenty of courage. That's what I got to say about that. And it's great that you're doing that. Your voice. So we talked about your playing. When did you discover that you could wail with your voice? And you had a great voice.
I don't know. I liked to do it a lot when I was by myself driving. And mainly it was like a lot of times it was Hank Williams.
Yeah.
That was another thing, as far as what put me into this genre of music mostly was Hank Williams. And I think that speaks for why I love Hank Williams so much and why he's so remembered and regarded, because I would find myself listening to every one of his songs, and there was, there's some that I didn't like as much, but they were all songs you could sing along with. Even the most depressing ones, and they were so catchy, but also lyrically genius. And simple, but genius and authentic.
Did you learn his tunes from recordings of his?
Yeah.
Or did you learn them from others? Others covering them?
From his. It started with Going and Partying and Gore, which is what inspired me to write A Land Between Two Mountains. you know, about that side of my family and going and partying with them. We would always, you know, drink and listen to music and do different stuff. And Hank Williams was introduced to me that way for the most part. Like, I really started to pay attention to his music and definitely just grabbed my attention. And I'm a huge fan of his. There's not a time that I'm like, I don't want to listen to Hank.
Nice. Well, just, I mean, isn't it unbelievable to think that he only lived to be, what,
4
6
years
years
older than
older
me.
than you are now? Or?
4.
Oh,
I think he's 29, not 27.
yeah,
That's-
you're
that's, you know,
23, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so about 6 years older than me. Pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
It's
Well, you know, what an impact he's had on the music that we celebrate with this program, that you celebrate with your writing, that the world celebrates. You know, it's amazing. So, what about the lyric piece? You were talking about how you weren't. I'm not. I don't mean to keep coming back at you with this. Thinking about fear, right? You know, with musicians when they're taking off, they have, you know, first of all, the fear of putting their own selves out there, their own bodies,
And then
their
putting your
voices. And now, what about
songs out.
Yeah, what about like putting your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your stories out there?
I don't know. It gets easier every time. It's incredibly terrifying, or at least it was to begin with. You know, thinking about. I remember trying when I wrote "A Land Between Two Mountains." It's not even that personal. It's just, you know, I guess a fun song, and there's nothing really personal about it, like vulnerable or anything like that. But like just the fact that it's you're trying to make art, and that's vulnerable enough to be like, you know, showing it to one or two people, like, hey, check out this song I wrote, like your friends. It's terrifying. And then you do that, and then for me, it was months later, I broke it out at one of my gigs. Of course, I was drunk, and that's what it took for me to do stuff like that in the beginning, was to overcome that fear of like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And that came after, you know, like what you're saying, putting yourself out there, just playing covers, you know, let alone your own stuff. But each time you do it, it gets easier. For me, studio stuff, like working in a studio, whether it be just like a DIY studio, which is what I recorded the stuff I've got out now. There's demos, and I've been in a real studio lately, working on an album, and just, I mean, you're doing multiple takes, you're doing your own songs, and these are typically not your closest friends, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I know Mike, who is in my band, that recorded those songs for me, but we weren't very close at that point, you know what I mean? So it breaks you a lot. You get a lot of practice putting it out there and getting comfortable playing your original stuff that way. But that's just my experience.
Yeah. What's with this set list? Now, the original set list you sent our way didn't include a bunch of these songs.
Well, it's all the same songs, but I'd moved them around for purposes of his tuning to different keys.
Okay, I thought you were throwing a whole bunch of new. I mean, I'm seeing some songs on here that weren't on the original. No, maybe not.
I thought about that, but
Do you have a lot of new material on here?
oh yeah, the only A Land Between Two Mountains.
How recent is that?
Well, that one, 10 Chickens in a Dog Crate, and Up in Smoke have been out, the demo versions, on YouTube and SoundCloud for about 6 or 7 months.
Okay,
Maybe
that's-
8. I don't
that's
know how long
new.
it's been, but the other stuff is brand new. Like I might have written it a while ago, but it's stuff that I've been working on in the studio, so I got more familiar with it.
And just
memorized
performing
the
it?
words.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, right.
and worked it up with these guys for the last couple of things we've done, and it went from doing 3 of my originals and all covers, all once to doing 14 or 15 originals.
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool, and they're great songs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like them a lot. Tell us again how you met Ben, and then that'll segue into Ben talking about himself. We'll let Ben just talk about himself for a half hour or 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we,
wow. I have to go to the bathroom, I think.
No, you're not going anywhere, Ben. Now, how'd you meet Ben? And yeah,
Open mic.
yeah, it was
He
the
came
open
out to
mic.
open mic. I don't know who invited him there.
just showed up?
Or who told him about it, or how
I
he
just
found
showed
out.
up. Yeah.
How'd you hear about it?
I was looking up open mics and which ones were in Winchester. I was itching to get out and play and meet musicians because I've been kind of locked away for many years not playing with musicians, and I really missed it. And I came to the Blue Fox because I wanted to perform. I wanted to start playing again. So
Yeah, why'd you stop?
I
you
don't know.
talk about that?
Maybe I got a little bit scared or a little bit lazy. Yeah, sometimes it happens. And I've had phases in my life where I've been very inspired and would want to play and write and jam with people. And then there's times where I just kind of get mad at it and put it away for a while, for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm so grateful to be back playing with some great musicians. And when I got to the Blue Fox, I was blown away by the amount of talent there.
I honestly can't remember exactly what night or how it went that all of us started playing together there, but I don't remember the first time playing with this guy or Will. I remember the first time Sam came, though, because he was the last one, and that was,
Yeah,
Sam, the drummer?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say probably around July,
But you and,
I think.
I
Roughly late June, July.
think it was closer to, yeah, it was late July.
For
I
me,
think.
for me, Will
for
came
you?
a little bit earlier. Yeah, I started showing up in June and July. Yeah.
But kind of just fell together that way.
Huh.
We have fun.
Yeah. Ben, do you have a fiddle teacher, somebody you think of when you think about the way that you play fiddle? And
Yeah, I'm sort of inventing it right now as I go along. I was trained with Suzuki violin method when I was a child, really young. So I learned the mechanics, and I learned the scales and all the basic elements, all the rudiments of how to play the instrument and reading music and all that stuff. And so I went to school and took lessons when I was a kid, and I sort of stopped following through on that. It was a lot of classical music, but then I enjoyed bluegrass and all sorts of different types of fiddle styles, and try to learn how to improvise instead of read music that's on a page. And I'm always in the process of trying to figure out how to write parts on the fly in the context of a band. So working on it.
yeah, well, good sound. And your guitar playing, tell us about your what you do as a songwriter and a guitar player.
It's hard to explain. It's had different phases. I mean, I've had phases where I'd write songs. I don't really like them, and I haven't really resurrected them in a while. But maybe 10 years ago, I wrote some songs, and I started off being more of a lead guitar player, so I like playing electric a lot. Big fan of like jam bands and Grateful Dead and improvising and stuff like that. So that's why I like just jamming with different folks and finding. Locking in with other musicians, it's an amazing feeling when you're playing with great musicians, and so I like doing a lot of just jamming with people. But then on the side, I write songs when I'm, bored, and I got nothing, I'm by myself. I'll write songs.
Do you do other work other than music? You do music full time?
I mean, I've been a carpenter. In music. I've worked on instruments, been a guitar tech, and worked on violins and cellos at a store back in my hometown in Northern Virginia. So I worked around instruments, so I'm pretty decent at fixing these things up. So
Good to
there's
have a
that.
guitar tech in the band.
Yeah. I mean, if I had the tools, I would know how to tweak things a little bit so they play the best they can. Yeah, so I did that for a while.
Now, does the band that you and Brennan work together with? Do you all you bring some of your songs into that?
Well, I'm starting to. Yeah, I haven't been focusing on that. I'm actually been focusing on how to make this fella's songs sparkle the best they can. I mean, they're amazing. So that's there's a lot. It's pretty busy. It's a quality problem.
It sounds like it sounds like a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. So.
What a
Yeah,
pleasure
parcel
it's
my
been.
time.
Yeah, what a pleasure it's been to have you all here. The music is super rich and fun and hummable. I agree. There are a lot of
Appreciate
songs.
that.
A lot of the songs you played tonight, I feel like I'll be chirping along with on the way
They're
home.
great.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to more music. We have a few more songs left with Brennan Edwards and Ben Hirsch on Red Barn Radio.
Well, this next one, this song, it was partially inspired by someone passing on, per se, and that wasn't in a good place mentally, and then also about, it's, you know, partially my rendition of Sunday Morning Coming Down. Kind of. Maybe like 10%. Some old people ain't a day over 30, hurting in a way, aching fiercely head to toe, you know. And it's easy to make believe you'd walk the mile in their shoes, but you'd only fool a few. There's only so far you can go. And those worn out ragged boots that took you everywhere, from high road to despair, from the sunny days through snow. And until you've looked into the mirror and find no one looking back, just an empty shell of lifelessness that once harbored a soul, you'll never know just how it feels. Well, you start out young with a thirst for life. It's like the whole world's at your fingertips, but it quickly slips away, fading slowly through the wind like cigarettes and gin, burning smooth right at the start, but never worth the pain of waking up on Sunday morning with the sense of lonesome dread you didn't know was possible to feel. You didn't know was real till a whole week felt that way, to a month that lasted 7 lonely years. And those worn out ragged boots that took you everywhere, from high road to despair, from the sunny days through snow. And until you looked into the mirror and find no one looking back, just an empty shell of lifelessness that once harbored a soul, you'll never know just how it feels. Thank y'all. This one called Dead Inside. This one's called So Long. That's another one that I wrote some lines to and then I'd put away for a long time. And I was sitting at Chris's house. Chris, you're on Red Barn Radio again. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to finish this one. And I just finished it like a month ago, right before I went to started going to the studio. It's called So Long.
So long.
It's been so long, for so long, I guess I just chose not to look, to hide from the pain. And I held on for dear life, but you left me here
till you came back to me when the dark clouds had parted. Well, don't they look like you and I? Don't expect me to feel sorry for you if you break down and start to cry. 'Cause it's been so long, for so long.
Thank you so much. Just make sure I'm in tune real quick. This next song is probably the most recent one I've written. Definitely the most recent one that I've finished and been playing. I really wrote this one right before I went to the studio, and let's see. This one is this was a song that I wrote about a non-trifling woman. This one's called "To the End of My Days." You laying here so near, it still isn't nearly enough. The comfort I feel in your presence had never been anything I'd ever felt. In a world full of games people play, I must say day to day it could be tough. I never thought I'd ever be so content living here with the cards I've been dealt. You drifted into my aura of sorrow that tried to hide behind a smile. You washed all my pain and brought sunshine where rain had poured over the heart of a child. God gave me you and I'm willing to do what it takes to keep you by my side. To the end of my days, till the world's washed away, and the moon and the sun do collide, and once more with God we abide. Telling me you can see things in me that I just can't seem to see for myself. You could take shaded gray days, turn them into blue skies, and do it without any help. I don't know how I'd do without you. When I'm down in blue, I could look in your green eyes and know that I'm safe. In your loving arms, near or far, my heart knows that within yours I'll always have a place. 'Cause you drifted into my aura of sorrow that tried to hide behind a smile. You washed all my pain and brought sunshine where rain had poured over the heart of a child. God gave me you and I'm willing to do what it takes to keep you by my side. To the end of my days, till the world's washed away, and the moon and the sun do collide, and once more with God we abide. And once more with God we abide. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. I figured I'd end this set today with that one because all the other ones are about past thoughts, emotions, feelings, stories. But that is a current one, so.
All right. Well, there are so many people to thank for our program. First, Brennan Edwards, our guests on this evening's broadcast. We're ever grateful for our volunteers and staff, of course, who make our production happen so beautifully each and every week. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, Central and Eastern Kentucky's radio news leader. You can listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, before we close out tonight's broadcast, let's bring back Brennan Edwards for one more tune with Ben Hirsch.
Well, we spoke a lot about Hank Williams, or at least a little bit. I definitely have in my life. I listen to a lot of Hank Williams. I think this is a Carter family song, but I know the Hank version. And it's one of my favorite songs ever. Which if you caught me at a real live, not a real live show, but at a hometown live show, in my natural habitat, I'd pretty much say it about any cover that I do. I say it too much, but this one really is one of my favorite songs of all time. This one's called Thy Burdens Are Greater Than Mine. Traveling down a lonely highway, I knew not where the road would end, and not a penny in my pocket, all alone without a friend. In a little country village, I met a man and he was blind. And as I helped him cross the highway, oh Lord, I cried, his burdens are greater than mine. Well, I can see the light of day, I need not feel my way. Yes, thy burdens are greater than mine. Met a lad while on my travels, trying hard to play the game. And though his leg was very crippled and he could not speak his name, yet he smiled in understanding, though life to him had been unkind. And as I watched, I cried in sorrow, oh Lord, to see his burdens are greater than mine. Well, I can speak my name aloud, make my way among the crowd. Yes, thy burdens are greater than mine. Just by chance I passed a graveyard, and I saw a young man kneeling there. In his hands there were some roses,
stone these words were written. Your soul is God's, your memory mine. And as I watched, I cried in sorrow. Oh Lord, I see his burdens are greater than mine. I see his burdens are greater than mine.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can also listen to archive performances on Patreon, Spotify, and iTunes. Remember this, every like, comment, share, subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, get out there and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. From all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.